Reading the headline. Hello and welcome to Clearview Television News. We're reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. In the news, the Nigeria's main opposition, People's Democratic Party, endorses Eyinaya Abaribe as minority leader of the 9th Senate. Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello restates confidence on returning to Lugard House, Lokoja, ahead of the November 16th governorship election in the state. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders resigns, set to return to home state of Arkansas. I am Rose Audu with the details of these and more. A former deputy governor of Abia State and senator representing Abia South, Eyinaya Abaribe, has emerged as the minority leader of the Senate. Abaribe's emergence was at a People's Democratic Party (PDP) leadership meeting in Abuja Thursday night. He headed the Committee on Power in the 8th Senate. Similarly, Emmanuel Wacha, who represents Taraba South Senatorial District, also emerged as deputy minority leader. He served in that capacity in the 8th Senate. Philip Aduda, who represents the Federal Capital Territory, emerged as a minority whip. He served in a similar capacity in the 8th Senate. Senator Clifford Odiang, who represents Edo Central, emerged as the deputy minority whip. A formal letter would be sent to inform the Senate of the party's decision. The House of Representatives has announced the constitution of 3 ad hoc committees to manage its affairs until standing committees are constituted. They are Ad hoc Committee on Media, the Selection Committee, and Welfare Committee. Speaker of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila, announced the constitution of the committees after an executive session on Thursday. The House thereafter adjourned till July 2nd. Aniete Patrick has more. The Presidential Election Petition Tribunal has reserved ruling on the application filed by Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and the People's Democratic Party (PDP) to inspect the server and data or smart card reader used by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC). In the conduct of the February 23 presidential election, the tribunal took the decision on Thursday evening as the electoral body said it has no server on the 2019 general elections. Besides, President Muhammadu Buhari and his political party, the All Progressives Congress, have joined INEC to ask the tribunal to dismiss the application, imposing the application to access the INEC server. The electoral body, Buhari and APC, all attached a roll order of the decision of the Court of Appeal, which had rejected a similar application by the petitioners. Specifically, the court had on March 6, 2019 refused the request by Atiku and PDP to be allowed to conduct a forensic examination and forensic analysis of the materials, as well as have access to the card reader, data and information contained in the smart card reader, cloud and electronic storage used for the polls. Justice Abdul Aboki had, in his leading ruling, said by virtue of the provisions of Section 151 of the Electoral Act, on which the applicant's motion ex parte was anchored, Atiku and his party were only entitled to inspect the electoral materials and the certified true copies of all the materials used for the polls. The 2 other members of the panel, Justices Peter Ige and Emmanuel Agim, agreed with the lead ruling by Justice Aboki. Meanwhile, the presiding justice of the 5-man panel of the tribunal, Justice Muhammad Garuba, said the panel would communicate the date of the ruling to parties-led councils once they are ready. This was after councils in the matter adopted and argued their brief of arguments in the suit. Earlier, moving the motions for inspection of the INEC server and other electoral materials, a counsel in Atiku and the PDP's legal team, Chief Chris Uche, a senior advocate of Nigeria, said the request was essential to their petition, challenging the return of President Buhari at the election. The petitioners had in their petitions stated that by figures obtained from the INEC server, they are not Buhari, and the 3rd respondent, the APC, won the presidential election held on February 23 this year. According to the figures allegedly obtained from the server, Atiku had scored 18,356,732 votes, as against that of Buhari, whom he said scored 16,741,430 votes. The tribunal, however, reserved ruling to a date to be communicated to parties in the suit and adjourned the pre-hearing of the HDP's petition to June 20. The Supreme Court on Friday sacked David Umar as the senator representing Niger East in the newly constituted 9th Senate and declared Mohammed Musa as his replacement. Umar was the chairman, Senate Committee Chairman on Justice, Human Rights and Legal Matters in the last Senate. In a unanimous judgment of the five-man panel led by the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tanko Muhammad, the Apex Court nullified the earlier verdict of the Court of Appeal in Abuja, which had validated Umar as the rightful candidate of the All Progressives Congress in the February 23, 2019 senatorial election. The Apex Court, after nullifying the Court of Appeal's judgment, restored the earlier verdict of the Federal High Court, which had declared Musa as the rightful candidate of the party. Justice Folashade Giwa Ogunbanjo of the Federal High Court in Abuja had on February 7, 2019 declared Musa as the rightful candidate. In the late judgment delivered by Justice Olukayode Ariwola, on Friday, the Apex Court agreed with Musa's legal team, led by Chief Wole Olanipekum, that the Court of Appeal wrongly interpreted the provision of Section 285, subsection 9 of the Constitution. Justice Ariwola held that the Court of Appeal was therefore wrong to have struck out the suit filed by Musa before the Federal High Court after adjudging the suit to a statute barred. He held that contrary to the Court of Appeal's judgment, Musa had instituted his suit within time, as a mandatory 14 days period within which the suit ought to be filed should be counted from the date the Independent National Electoral Commission published the names of candidates, and not from the date a winner of the primary was declared. Other members of the panel, including the acting CJN who headed it, agreed with the lead judgment. A High Court sitting in Kano on Friday dismissed an application instituted by the Kano Emirate kingmakers against the newly installed emirs in the state. The court first recognized the recently created 4 emirates by the Kano state government. The presiding judge, Justice Ahmed Tijani Badamosi, overruled the application filed by the plaintiff's counsel, Barrister Suraj Saida. Badamosi said the new emirs are at liberty to continue going about their lawful activities as emirs of their emirates. The Emirate Council earlier filed an application seeking the court to restrain the Kano state government against balkanizing the Emirate Council. Ahead of the November 16 election in Kogi State and Bayelsa, the governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, says he will return as the governor for another 4 years. The governor stated this in an exclusive interview with Clearview TV on the moves by his party to deny him the party's ticket and his efforts to retain his ticket and return as the next governor of Kogi State. Our correspondent, Magdalene Michael, has the rest of the story.
On securing the APC ticket, Governor Bello said the analogy is that the tenant cannot send the landlord out of his house. While commenting on the measures put in place to rebuild the APC in Kogi State, the governor said his efforts were evident in the last outing of the party, where the party won all 25 seats of the Kogi State House of Assembly, 7 out of the 9 contested positions in the House of Representatives, and 2 out of the 3 senatorial districts in the state. This, the governor said, were enough to boost his confidence and assurance of returning to Lord Lugard House after the November 16th governorship elections.
I'm the governor today, and inshallah, I'll return back as governor for another 4 years after in the November 16th election. As for the ticket, the analogy is that you don't send landlord. A tenant cannot come and send the landlord away from his house. So APC in Kogi State was rebuilt by me after a great job done by our late leader, His Excellency Prince Abubakar Audu.
The governor also commended President Muhammadu Buhari for recognizing the late Chief MKO Abiola as an icon of democracy, as well for declaring June 12 as a new Democracy Day.
Chief MKO Abiola was to come and serve us. He was denied. Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari is serving us. He recognized the man who paid the supreme sacrifice. So what it means to all the politicians is that we must remain real and have the interests of the people at heart and serve them diligently to the best of our ability.
Governor Yahaya Bello is positive that, as the APC recently got all it wanted at the leadership of the National Assembly, Nigerians will see good governance at ease in the next level. Magdalene Michael, reporting for Clearview Television.
And that's the Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello with the State House correspondent at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. As Nigeria joins the rest of the world to commemorate World Blood Donor Day, the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Health, Abdulaziz Abubakar, says the National Blood Transfusion Service has been established to coordinate blood safety activities in Nigeria. The Permanent Secretary stated this Friday at the Ministry Conference in Abuja. Now the report. Abdulaziz Abubakar, while giving his speech at the event, stated that transfusions of blood and blood products save millions of lives every year. He encouraged more people the world over to become blood donors in order to build a sustainable pool that is sufficient to meet the needs of all patients who require transfusion.
The use of blood and blood products has become an integral part of modern medical practice. Access to safe blood and blood products is a key component of an effective health system and a significant building block for the successful achievement of health-related sustainable development goals. With a population of over 180 million, Nigeria's estimated blood need is about 2 million units per annum. Unfortunately, much less is currently donated, leading to avoidable deaths, morbidities, or ill health, particularly among our women folk, newborns, and children.
Dr. Amedu Joseph, Director of Hospital Services and the representatives WHO, Dr. Clement Peter, said the aim of the World Blood Donor Day is to make healthy blood accessible to all that need the products, as well as create awareness on regular blood donation from healthy individuals.
The success of these programs largely depends on the availability of stable and secure access to safe blood and blood products. We all know that successful surgical interventions are inseparable with availability of blood and blood products.
Are needed in Nigeria to ensure individuals and communities have access to safe and quality assured blood and blood products. Everyone can donate blood and should consider making regular, voluntary, unpaid donations so that Nigeria has adequate blood.
Also sought to know the experiences of some Nigerians in terms of blood donation, and we met one Nathan John with a record of 58 donations. He shared his experience with the press.
It's been 14 years now since I started donating, and what drives me, or the motive of this, is hope and faith. Hope in the sense that the person that is receiving the blood, that is the recipient of my blood, and me too, I'm giving the person another hope and faith that as long as the blood is transfused, that he or she will be able to have another life to live.
Representatives Public Health Initiative Olabunmi Amao also told Clearview TV that the group has been reaching out to Nigerians to make voluntary blood donations to save those who need the product.
Have supported the secondary school blood safety program over the years, and we are also very, very proud to be a supporter of that program for this year as well.
World Blood Donor Day, which had the theme Blood Donation and Universal Access to Save Blood Transfusion, is celebrated 14th June of every year. You're watching Clearview Television News. The news continues after this time out.
This used to be me. But that was before I got the perfect bag. It's handy and easy to use. All I need in one compact space, just like my MTN Extra Value plan. I used to get one plan for my calls and then try to remember which data plan worked for me. Roaming was a totally different ballgame. Not anymore. I've got the MTN Extra Value all-in-one plan. If you're a data buff like me, you get extra data with some talk time. And if you like to make calls, you get extra talk time with some data. And when I'm abroad, I automatically browse, chat, and call right on the same plan. MTN Extra Value was made just for me.
More of data or calls, whichever one you prefer. MTN Extra Value is made just for you.
Welcome back. A socio-political group, the Renaissance, has called on President Muhammadu Buhari to make efforts towards appointing cabinet members in the time so as to take off already laid plans of the administration. Speaking at a news conference this Friday in Abuja, the convener Tunde Omoleyin, who commended the work done as so far during the change agenda, raised expectations of the group for the next level. Our correspondent Prudence Okona has more.
Taking stock of the past with regard to political leadership and setting new agenda for the second-term administration of President Buhari, the Renaissance Group called for a quick composition of the new cabinet that will translate the vision of the next level into concrete reality. The convener of the group, Tunde Malayin, commended President Buhari for the feat so far achieved, however, wants the lingering security challenges to be tackled.
We're happy that the nation is moving. We're happy that despite the difficulties in insecurity, despite the challenges in governance, the country is moving forward under the president of this nation, President Muhammadu Buhari, who has just been reappointed for another 4 years, in office. A particular case should be cited, and that is the appointments of members of his cabinet. We really want to advise government not to tarry and not to waste time in putting together a very, very solid and very dynamic cabinet this time around. That is not to say that those who were there didn't play their part, but it could be better, and that is the position of this organization. We feel that yes, young, dynamic, brilliant people all around should be headhunted and put in positions.
On the emergence of the leadership of the 9th National Assembly as desired by ruling party, the co-convener Yemi Olayinka hoped this will allow for synergy as it is a step in the right direction.
Started another race, we have started another 4 years, and we want to say, number one, thank you to Mr. President for helping out in the issue of the National Assembly. It's a beautiful one. The last National Assembly was a disaster for our nation. It affected everybody, but this time around we want to thank the party leadership, that is the APC. We want to thank Mr. President for ensuring that we have our party men occupying the right position at the National Assembly to assist, because there must be a synergy between the legislative and the executive, and I think we can have a robust kind of argument in the National Assembly now without really having a friction between the leadership and members of the National Assembly.
The Renaissance Group also says beyond tackling security challenges, the Buhari administration should take concrete steps to address problems of power supply to boost creation of more jobs, develop government policies that will encourage local contents, as well as carry the Nigerian people along on what the government is doing to actualize its next level agenda. Prudence Okona reporting for Clearview Television.
In a bid to promote research in information communication technology, the Nigerian Communications Commission has given out 65 million naira to 10 universities in Nigeria to boost research in telecommunication areas. Speaking at the presentation of award letters to the winning universities in Abuja recently, The executive vice chairman of NCC, Professor Omar Dambata, said that the award was in recognition of the role of the academia in the development of the ICT sector. Thus, the reason the Commission instituted the research grant project. He stated that the chosen tertiary institutions submitted detailed and well-thought-out research proposals to the Commission for innovative use of telecommunication to solve national problems. Dambata said that the Commission had set out clear terms and conditions for the grants, and it is expected that awardees abide by all terms of the award. On his part, Director Research and Development NCC, Ephraim Nwokoneya, said that the award was the Commission's determination to facilitate research and innovation in telecom industry in Nigeria. He added that the issue of formal letters of award of grants to experts in the academia who have given a clear evidence of their capability to make success of their chosen research themes. The universities include Ahmadu Bello University Zaria with 2 awards, University of Lagos, University of Ibadan, University of Port Harcourt, Bayero University Kano, University of Jos, University of Nigeria Nsukka, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa Bauchi, Federal University Minna, and Federal University of Technology Akure. No fewer than 24 professionals of the Michael Okpara University of Agriculture Umudike have been served with demotion letters. Management conveyed the University Governing Council's decision to the affected professors through a letter that described the action as proper placement. The university spokesperson Adama Nwachukwu confirmed the development, stating that following petitions to the Minister of Education by some aggrieved persons, the university embarked on staff audit. She, however, declined to offer other details of the action, saying the university is not exactly interested in blowing this matter out of proportion. She said it is an internal procedure and was not targeted at demoting or promoting anybody, but rather at ensuring proper placement of all affected staff and not just professors. She advised our correspondent to wait till month end when the university will publish its bulletin to get the said details. Investigations suggest that the shock demotion may be the consequence of some flawed decisions and chain of events that started around 2015 under the former Vice-Chancellor, Professor Hilary Edeoga. Not a few persons at the time kicked against the alleged violation of due process and lowering of standards in the university, which consequently provoked several petitions by staff and stakeholders to the immediate past Minister of Education, Adamu Adamu. And following the staff audit occasioned by the recommendation of the Committee on Petitions received by the Honorable Minister of Education in respect of Michael Okpara University of Agriculture and in response to appeals made by some staff on proper placements. The Governing Council of the University at its 21st emergency meeting held on Monday, the 13th to Thursday, 16th of May 2019, considered the cases of the affected professors and approved their demotion, while 18 of the professors were demoted to associate professors. 6 others were demoted to senior lecturers. The wife of the president, Aisha Buhari, has changed her title to First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria from wife of the president. She announced the change of her official title during an award night and dinner in honor of wives of former governors at the State House. Abuja, one of her media aides, Bisi Olumide Ajayi, has also issued a statement to announce the change of the official title. The statement said Aisha Buhari is now to be addressed as the First Lady of Nigeria. She explained that after the election of her husband in 2015, she personally chose to be called the wife of the president. Aisha Buhari said her decision to be addressed as wife of the president caused confusion, hence the need for the change of title. Her husband, President Muhammadu Buhari, had in 2014, before he was elected for a first term, said he will scrap the office of the First Lady. He said he will not have an office for First Lady if elected, since there is no office of First Lady in the Nigerian Constitution, just as there is no official role for President's wives. The federal government, through the Galaxy backbone, has launched a platform to support the e-government master plan initially approved by the previous Federal Executive Council. The official launch was carried out in Abuja by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Gida Mustafa, the head of service, Winifred Oyo Ita, with the former Minister of Communications, Adebayo Shitu, as well as other heads and representatives of various ministries, departments and agencies. A press release from the Galaxy BB said that following the launch, government will begin the full implementation of the e-government master plan, which is meant to set Nigeria apart in the League of Nations, effectively delivering government services using digital technologies and infrastructure. According to the Director e-Government within the Ministry of Communications, Tope Fashedemi, Galaxy Backbone provides the infrastructure that will enable the full implementation of the e-Government Master Plan. Galaxy Backbone is the digital infrastructure and shared services provided to government and all its agencies. It is saddled with the responsibility of providing the technology platform through which the e-Government Master Plan will be implemented for the nation. The Pharmacies Council of Nigeria has sealed off about 231 illegal medicine vendors' shops in Nasarawa State during its field operation recently. The Director Enforcement of PCN, Stephen Esumobi, disclosed this on Friday during a press conference in Lafia. He said that 8 compliance directives were equally issued for various offences, such as poor sanitary conditions, poor documentation, and non-display of premises, and pharmacist annual licenses. According to him, few people were found to be unable to communicate in English, a situation that could result in a plethora of treatment misadventures with grave public health implications. At the end of the exercise, a total of 498 premises were visited, comprising 389 patent and proprietary medicines vendors' shops and 109 pharmacies across the state. The PCN Enforcement Director noted that the operation was the first phase of activities of the Council put in place to streamline the drug distribution system and improve the level of pharmaceutical services delivery to the people of Nasarawa State. Esumobi warned that further action would follow in due course since the PCN was committed to the implementation of the National Drugs Distribution Guidelines. A pan-Igbo socio-cultural organization, Igbo Amaka, has appealed to President Muhammadu Buhari to consider Southeast for the position of Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Michael Okoro, coordinator of the group in Ebonyi, made the appeal in an interview with newsmen in Abakaliki on Friday. The group noted that the Igbo nation has contributed so much in the development of the socio-economic and political lives of the nation, stressing that the exclusion of the region was a gross injustice and negation of the principle of federal character. Okoro said that in spite of the contributions of the zone in maintaining the country's unity, none of its kinsmen was occupying leadership position at the national political, judiciary or military decision-making circles. He faulted the exclusion of the Southeast in principal position in the recently inaugurated leadership of the 9th National Assembly, noting that the appointment of any credible person of Southeast extraction as SGF would right the perceived injustice. Okoro, who said that the group strongly believed in dialogue and peaceful approach in resolving national issues, urged leaders of the zone to approach Buhari with humility to gain from his goodwill. Okoro appealed to the leaders of the zone to embrace the Buhari administration and integrate into the national politics, and warned that aggression and isolation would do the region more harm. He therefore called on the region stakeholders to put their house in order for the common good of the zone. Okoro urged Buhari to select men and women of integrity to form his next-level cabinet. Governor Adegboyega Oyetola of Osun State has urged the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, to speed up action on the joint security team to combat rising security challenge in the state. A statement issued in Oshogbo, Adeniyi Adeshino, the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, said Oyetola made the plea when he met with Buratai in Abuja. Osun government had announced that a joint security team of policemen, soldiers and operatives in other security agencies would be set up to patrol the highways and dark spots. According to Additional, the governor told the Chief of Army Staff that his visit was a follow-up to the letter of request sent to him to support the security efforts in the state. He also said that the governor commended Buratai for the efforts of the military, whose engineers were constructing a bridge across River Osun to connect Ede with Kuta and other communities in the state. Uyetola, according to the statement, said the Southwest governors have also resolved to organize a security summit. He said the summit was to prepare a joint plan to combat the rising crime in the geopolitical zone, especially on the Ibadan-Akure road, where bandits launched attacks on travelers. The statement quoted Baratai as assuring the governor that he would make all the efforts to support the security efforts in Osun. A gun duel between security operatives and suspected bandits in Kankara local government area of Katsina State has led to the death of a suspected bandit and arrest of 3 others, among whom is a 70-year-old man. The incident occurred on Thursday about noon. The spokesman for Katsina Police Command, SP Gambo Issa, who confirmed the incident, gave the name of the dead suspected bandit as Kurma. Issa, who also gave the name of the arrested 70-year-old as Bawa Naganda, said investigation is ongoing. The Debt Management Office has announced the result of its second sovereign green bond offering for 15 billion naira, where it overshot the subscription target by 120% at the end of the offer. The offer, which opened to the general public on Monday, June 3, 2019, and closed on Monday, June 10, 2019, was presided by roadshow meetings with investors and other stakeholders in Lagos and Abuja. The results of the second sovereign green bond issuance reviewed increased knowledge and awareness of the bonds by subscribers and perhaps also demonstrated a greater level of commitment from the general public towards protecting the environment. Total value of subscription received was 32.93 billion naira, representing 220% of the 15 billion naira offered. Similarly, the number of subscribers doubled when compared to the figure for the 4th sovereign green bond issued in December 2017. The proceeds of the green bond will be used to finance projects in the 2018 Appropriation Act, which will contribute to Nigeria's commitment to the Paris Agreement on climate change. The projects include off-grid solar and wind farm, irrigation, afforestation and reforestation, as well as ecological restoration. You're still watching Clearview Television News. The news will continue after this timeout. Stay with us.
Uni ahoime banguni enwome ati sojete banguni iresu amuhi baki epezwe ati ameme woroka meda shekura novede ibiraba beva says onini isamuhi oneri odobide kura ame oneri saza esikameni avabani voneva savore diaka iresu ibiraba be TV oneva save of down in jozile sokoko eturonone ibiraba be yafabe inyo ishehun dia novede.
Látòrí ìdárayá kí orí ọ̀dọ́, látòrí ọ̀dọ́ olóṣèlú títí dé orí ọmọ lọ́balọ́ba àti ìjòyè ra wọn yìí. Ẹ̀kọ́ àti àṣà àti ìṣera. Ètò ẹ̀jáyé ń gbọ́ra. Ó ti rá láti jẹ́ àmọ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ní ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀. Ní agbègbè ra àti àyíká ra lílẹ̀ ọkùn. Ẹ agbọ́ra, ẹ awora níbi ẹ̀tíyàwó ra ẹ̀. Ètò ẹ̀jáyé ń gbọ́ra àti Mùárin. Gbogbo orin bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ awora lórí rẹ̀.
Ẹja sọmọ kọ́ ọmọ sọ.
Wow! Ekide ṣe wa gẹ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀dẹ̀ jẹ́ kó máa gbómú wẹ. Ekide ṣe todúkanike dúkọ́ lọ́yọ́gbá. Ká àwọn dúgbẹ́dẹ̀ mú àwọn ọmọ àgbàdùfò ọ̀nẹ́kẹ̀lẹ́ ponúbulẹ̀. Mánike kọ́má alùpùpù gbá báyìí alùpùpù kọ ìchíwa ìgalà. Omikùnà kà iṣọ́ mamẹ kókó jẹnẹ ìgalà dẹ̀. Ẹ̀dọ̀mí ṣẹ̀gbọ́kù gbójúlé òṣọ́mamẹ ìgalà. Nàkínà gòwá ojí tẹlifíṣàn kìdẹ́ lọ́gbà. Ẹ̀kídẹ́rẹ́ máa bínú.
Welcome back. The Nigeria Customs Service has increased its revenue generation to 5.5 billion naira daily. Comptroller General Colonel Hamid Ali, retired, made this known during a working visit to the headquarters of the National Association of Government-Approved Freight Forwarders in Lagos on Thursday. The CGC, who was represented at the event by the Assistant Comptroller General and Customs Coordinator in charge of Zone A, KC Ekekezie, said that the feat was made possible as a result of the automation of customs operations at the ports. According to the customs boss, the increase in revenue generation has helped in the prompt payment of salaries of workers of the NCS and makes the organization a critical contributor to the nation's treasury in terms of revenue generation. The automation of the customs system at ports and borders has made it easy for the service to block revenue leakages and meet targets. The NGAFF founder, Boniface Anyebona, who hosted the event, asked port users to help the NCS by adhering to trade compliance. He said that such drive would foster good relationship with the customs personnel. Anyebona said that as an association, they would begin the sanitation from within by exposing and sanctioning erring members in order to maintain the good relationship with the customs. Nigeria earned about 85 trillion naira or $236.2 billion from oil between 2014 and 2018. The statistics bulletin by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries has reviewed. The figures puts Nigeria in sixth place and the highest oil revenue earner in Africa among the 14 OPEC member countries surveyed in the report. The highest revenue in the revenue period was $27.1 billion or $75.2 million recorded in 2014, followed by 2018 when 19.6 billion naira, about $54.5 million, was earned. The country earned 14.8 billion naira, translating to $41.2 million, and 9.8 billion naira, or $27.3 million, and 13.7 billion naira, that is $38 million, were earned in 2015, 2016, and 2017 respectively. OPEC records showed that Saudi Arabia was the highest revenue earner with $194.4 billion, followed by United Arab Emirates with $74.9 billion, Iraq's $68.2 billion, Iran's $60.2 billion, and Kuwait's $58.4 billion. According to the report, OPEC member countries sold an average of 24.67 million barrels per day. In 2018, a slight increase of about 14,000 or 0.1% compared to 2017. The major importers were countries in Asia and the Pacific, followed by Europe, and the least exports to North America. The OPEC bulletin showed that the Nigeria's daily crude oil production in 2018 was 1.601 million, a 4.3% increase from the 1.535 million recorded in 2017. You're still watching Clearview Television News. The news will continue after this break.
This used to be me. But that was before I got the perfect bag. It's handy and easy to use. All I need in one compact space, just like my MTN Extra Value plan. I used to get one plan for my calls and then try to remember which data plan worked for me. Roaming was a totally different ballgame. Not anymore. I've got the MTN Extra Value all-in-one plan. If you're a data buff like me, you get extra data with some talk time. And if you like to make calls, you get extra talk time with some data. And when I'm abroad, I automatically browse, chat, and call right on the same plan. MTN Extra Value was made just for me.
More of data or calls, whichever one you prefer. MTN Extra Value is made just for you.
ni ahoime báwọn ní ẹ̀wọ̀n mẹ́ àti sojẹtẹ báwọn ní ìrẹsù àmòhí bákì èpèzúwe àti amẹ̀mẹ̀wọ̀rọ̀ kàmẹ́dá àṣẹkùrà nọ̀vẹ̀dẹ̀ ìbíraba bẹ́fà ṣe zòónì ni ìsàmùhí ọ̀nẹ̀rí ọ̀dọ́bìdẹ́kùrà àmẹ́ ọ̀nẹ̀rí sáza èsì kàmẹ́ẹ̀ni àfàbánivọ̀ nífà ṣe ìvòrè díàkà ìrẹsù ìbíraba bẹ́ tv ọ̀nẹ̀fà ṣe ìvọ̀ fìdáwọn ní jòzílẹ̀sù kòkó ètò rọ̀nà ni ìbíraba bẹ́ yàáfà bẹ́ yíyan ìṣẹ̀hún díà nọ̀vẹ̀dẹ̀.
Látòrí ìdárayá kí orí ọ̀dọ́ látòrí ọ̀dọ́ olóṣèlú títí dé orí ọ̀wọ́n lọ́balọ́ba àti ìjòyè ya wọn yìí. Ẹ̀kọ́ àti àṣà àti ìṣe ya ètò ẹ̀jáyé ìgbọ́ra ó ti rá láti jẹ́ àmọ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ní ṣẹlẹ̀ ní agbègbè ra àti àyíká ra lílẹ̀ ọkùn ẹ̀ agbọ́ra ẹ̀ àwòrán níbi ẹ̀tíyàwó ra ètò ẹ̀jáyé ìgbọ́ra àti mọ́rin gbogbo níbẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ̀ àwòrán lórí rẹ̀.
Ẹja sọmọ kọ́ ọ àmọ́ sọmọ.
Wow! Ekide ṣe wà gẹ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀dẹ̀ jẹ́ kó máa gbómú wẹ. Ekide ṣe odúkaníkedu kọlọ́yọ́gbá. Ká àwọn dúgbẹ́dẹ̀ mú àwọn ọmọ àgbàdùfò ọ̀nẹ́kẹlẹ́ polúbulẹ̀. Mánike kọ́má alùpùpù àgbà báyìí alùpùpù akọ ìchiwa ìgalà. Omikùnà kàí ṣọmamẹ kókó jẹnẹ ìgalà dẹ̀. Ẹ̀dọ̀mí ṣẹ̀bọ́kù gbójúlé òṣọmamẹ ìgalà. Nàkínà gòwá ojí tẹlifíṣàn kìdẹ́ lọ́gbà. Ẹ̀kídẹ́rẹ́ máa bínú.
This used to be me. But that was before I got the perfect bag. It's handy and easy to use. All I need in one compact space, just like my MTN Extra Value plan. I used to get one plan for my calls and then try to remember which data plan worked for me. Roaming was a totally different ballgame. Not anymore. I've got the MTN Extra Value all-in-one plan. If you're a data buff like me, you get extra data with some talk time. And if you like to make calls, you get extra talk time with some data. And when I'm abroad, I automatically browse, chat, and call right on the same plan. MTN Extra Value was made just for me.
More of data or calls, whichever one you prefer. MTN Extra Value is made just for you.
Látòrí ìdárayá kí orí ọ̀dọ́ látòrí ọ̀dọ́ olóṣèlú títí dé orí ọ̀wọ́n lọ́balọ́ba àti ìjòyè ya wọn yìí. Ẹ̀kọ́ àti àṣà àti ìṣe ya ètò ẹ̀jáyé ìgbọ́ra ó ti rá láti jẹ́ àmọ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ní ṣẹlẹ̀ ní agbègbè ra àti àyíká ra lílẹ̀ ọkùn ẹ̀ agbọ́ra ẹ̀ àwòrán níbi ẹ̀tíyàwó ra ètò ẹ̀jáyé ìgbọ́ra àti mọ́rin gbogbo níbẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ̀ àwòrán lórí rẹ̀.
Ẹja sọmọ kọ́ ọ àmọ́ sọmọ.
Wow! Ekide ṣe wà gẹ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀dẹ̀ jẹ́ kó máa gbómú wẹ. Ekide ṣe odúkaníkedu kọlọ́yọ́gbá. Ká àwọn dúgbẹ́dẹ̀ mú àwọn ọmọ àgbàdùfò ọ̀nẹ́kẹlẹ́ polúbulẹ̀. Mánike kọ́má alùpùpù àgbà báyìí alùpùpù akọ ìchiwa ìgalà. Omikùnà kàí ṣọmamẹ kókó jẹnẹ ìgalà dẹ̀. Ẹ̀dọ̀mí ṣẹ̀bọ́kù gbójúlé òṣọmamẹ ìgalà. Nàkínà gòwá ojí tẹlifíṣàn kìdẹ́ lọ́gbà. Ẹ̀kídẹ́rẹ́ máa bínú.
Welcome back. The Director General National Council for Arts and Culture, Olusegun Ronshewe, has urged Nigerians to encourage more works of arts by patronizing and using made-in-Nigeria handicrafts. Ronshewe stated this in Abuja on Friday, as the National Council for Arts and Culture joined in observing this year's World Handicraft Day. Clearview TV's Busola Oweru has the rest of the report.
It would surprise you to know that the music you just listened to is also art. As a way of bringing to bear the promotion of art globally, the United Nations established World Crafts Council, which Nigeria is part of. The African region of WCC is headed by Olusegun Ronshewe, the Director General of the National Council for Arts and Culture.
What's been going on is a very simple thing. We don't believe in our own. And if we don't believe in our own, our economy cannot be strong. We must, look, let me give you a typical example today here. Some schools import school uniform. And we have tailors all over. Sometimes even a shame. They will tell you it's a Senegalese dress. Why? The dress I'm wearing is not beautiful. It's been produced here in Nigeria. Sewn, designed, and everything. So we need to start to tell our people the importance of buying what is our own.
Celebrating this special day in Nigeria, focus is placed on the opportunities that abound in the arts and crafts sector, particularly as an employment provider.
We do training for children so that from primary school, we have primary school and secondary schools involved. From that age, they start learning about art. So now we're trying to introduce that school activity now, and that's what we're doing, and trying to get children involved in our programs.
Various handicrafts and decorative works made completely by hand and using simple tools were displayed, each having a specific meaning attached to it. They range from pottery, knitting, carving, weaving, sewing, dyeing, and so forth. Handicrafts is one aspect of art that is yet to be explored in Nigeria. The National Council for Arts and Culture is trying to promote these arts. Busola Oworu, reporting for Clearview Television.
No official statement has been released as the PDP National Working Committee continuing its closed-door meeting at press time. The party would equally meet the House of Representatives caucus this Friday to pick its leaders in the House. A formal letter would be sent to inform the Senate of the party's decision. The House of Representatives has announced the constitution of 3 ad hoc committees to manage its affairs until standing committees are constituted.
Omi kuna kai shomame kukojane igalade edomi shebo kubojile uchomame igala nakina gowa oji television kide loba ekidere ma bino.
This used to be me. But that was before I got the perfect bag. It's handy and easy to use. All I need in one compact space, just like my MTN Extra Value plan. I used to get one plan for my calls and then try to remember which data plan worked for me. Roaming was a totally different ballgame. Not anymore. I've got the MTN Extra Value all-in-one plan. If you're a data buff like me, you get extra data with some talk time. And if you like to make calls, you get extra talk time with some data. And when I'm abroad, I automatically browse, chat, and call right on the same plan. MTN Extra Value was made just for me.
More of data or calls, whichever one you prefer. MTN Extra Value is made just for you.
Welcome back. And on the foreign scene, President Donald Trump has announced the resignation of White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders. Trump said his spokeswoman would be leaving her post and return to her home state of Arkansas at the end of June, praising her as a warrior. Sanders, the latest senior White House aide to Azit, said her role had been the honor of a lifetime. Her credibility was questioned during a combative tenure that saw press briefings all but relegated to a thing of the past. She started out as Deputy Press Secretary before replacing Sean Spicer in the top post in July 2017. Sanders, 36, has been a loyal mouthpiece, famously saying that God wanted Donald Trump to become president. At an unrelated White House event on Thursday, Trump described her as a special person, a very, very fine woman, adding she is a warrior. We are all warriors. We have to be warriors. The mother of 3 said she was looking forward to spending more time with her family. She sometimes scolded the White House press corps for behaving like her children. Sanders, who had a difficult relationship with the media, often repeating her boss's allegation of fake news, hosted fewer news conferences than any of the preceding 13 press secretaries. Her last media briefing was on 11th of March. 94 days ago, the president did not name a replacement press secretary. The U.S. military has released a video which it says shows Iranian special forces removing an unexploded mine from the side of an oil tanker damaged in an attack in the Gulf of Oman on Thursday. The U.S. also released images of the Japanese tanker apparently showing the unexploded mine before it was removed. In Oregon, a tanker in the Gulf also reported being hit by 3 blasts. The U.S. accused Iran of being behind the attacks. Iran said they categorically rejected the allegation. The blast came a month after 4 oil tankers were damaged in an attack off the coast of the United Arab Emirates. The U.S. blamed Iran for that attack, but did not produce evidence. Iran also denied those accusations. Tensions between the U.S. and Iran have escalated significantly since U.S. President Donald Trump took office in 2017. He abandoned a nuclear deal that was brokered by the Obama administration and significantly tightened sanctions on Iran. On Friday, Trump repeated the U.S. assertion that Iran was behind the incident. He also said it was unlikely that Iran could close the Strait of Hormuz, a vital shipping lane through which a third of the world's seaborne oil passes every year. But if it did, the strait would not remain closed for long. You're still watching Clearview Television News. Next is the sports news with Tolulokbe Oguntumei.
Ekide ṣe wà gẹ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀dẹ̀ jẹ́ kó máa gbómú wẹ ekide ṣe todúkanike dúkọlọ́yọ́gbá ká àwọn dúgbẹ́dẹ̀ mú àwọn ọmọ àgbàdùfò ọ̀nẹ́kẹlẹ́ ponúbulẹ̀ mánike kọ́má alùpùpù àgbà báyìí alùpùpù àkọ ìchíwà ìgalà omikùnà kà í ṣọmọmẹ kúkójanẹ ìgalà dẹ ẹ̀dọ̀mí ṣẹ̀gbọ́kù gbójúlé ìchọmọmẹ ìgalà lẹ́kínà gòwá ojí tẹlifíṣàn kìdẹ́ lọ́gbà ẹ̀kídẹ́rẹ́ máa bínú.
Jamaican juggernaut scores his first goal for a professional side.
Látòrí ìdárayá kí orí ọ̀dọ́ látòrí ọ̀dọ́ olóṣèlú títí dé orí ọ̀wọ́n lọ́balọ́ba àti ìjòyè ya wọn yìí. Ẹ̀kọ́ àti àṣà àti ìṣe ya. Ètò ẹjáyé ńgbọ́ra ó ti rá láti jẹ́ àmọ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ní ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀. Ní agbègbè ra àti àyíkára lílẹ̀ ọkùn. Àgbọ́ra àwòrà níbi ẹ̀tíyàwó ra ẹ̀. Ètò ẹjáyé ńgbọ́ra àti mú àrùn gbogbo ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ àwòrà lórí rẹ̀.
Ẹja sọmọkọ.
And just before sports, a report reaching us, the European Union Observer Mission will this Saturday release its report on the 2019 general elections in Nigeria. This emerged at a meeting with the chairman of the National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. Our correspondent, Aniete Patrick, has more.
The European Union has since 1999 been part of Nigeria's steady progress towards democratic consolidation. During the 2015 elections, its contributions and recommendations went a long way in enhancing the organization and operational planning and strengthening of engagements with stakeholders. Arena says the recommendations emanating from the report will benefit Nigeria across all strata of our national life.
We know that democracy is something that Nigerians are found for, and I think that they deserve also democracy. They show that they are really committed for, and these recommendations are for the different stakeholders, and the stakeholders are important. INEC is one of these. I must say, perhaps on the electoral process, the most important one. And so you will see that a lot of these recommendations are addressed, of course, to INEC, but they are not the only one. I think the government, the chamber, the parliament, but also civil society are concerned about these recommendations and this electoral process.
Responding, the INEC chairman says as part of ongoing internal review of the 2019 general elections, the Commission will quickly focus attention on the electoral legal framework in addition to several other areas of reform as it will study all EU recommendations in detail.
In one of such statements released immediately after the governorship elections, the chief observer noted, and I quote, "As the 2019 elections in Nigeria demonstrated, there are important improvements to be made. Elections can always be better," unquote. Every election in any democracy around the world is work in progress. We therefore look forward to the full 2019 EU election observation report and recommendations. We are confident that there will be useful lessons for the Commission and all other institutions and stakeholders as we prepare for future elections.
The umpire commended the EU observer mission for bringing the report in good time and expressed confidence that Nigeria's electoral process is work in progress with room for improvement. Annie T. Patrick, reporting for Clearview Television.
And that's all we can take on the news tonight. Before we go, we will take a look at our top stories and we will bring you our sports news in our subsequent bulletin. Former deputy governors of Abia State and senator representing Abia South, Eyinaya Abaribe, has emerged as the minority leader of the Senate. Ahead of the November 16 election in Kogi State and Bayelsa, the governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, says he will return as the governor for another 4 years. President Donald Trump has announced a resignation of White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders. And that's the news. Remember that you can subscribe to our YouTube channel via Clearview TV. Like us on Facebook via Clearview Television. Follow us on Twitter at Clearview Online. Follow us on Instagram at ClearviewTV_NG. You can also watch Clearview TV on Nightcomsat with any free-to-air decoder. For details, contact your local installer. I am Rose Audu. Many thanks for watching.